everyone. Thanks for coming back. I called this video, I used the S word on Facebook. Now, it's not the S word that probably pops right into your head, because I would never use that word on Facebook. But I did call something stupid this week. And I didn't really actually call something or anybody stupid. I just said I can't keep up with all the stupid out there. And that was in response to a news report that I heard actually on our local news channel, where they were telling people not to cook chicken in NyQuil. And I couldn't even believe it. That's more like something you would see on Facebook and go, oh, well, that's just somebody being stupid. But they were actually showing somebody cooking chicken in NyQuil. Now, I don't know if hopefully you've never even considered that or thought about it. But I'm telling you, the chicken in that pan was blue-green. And it looked like chicken I've had in my refrigerator when I was in college for like 6 months. It was nasty looking. And it's one of those things that just makes you think, who thinks up stuff like this? Are we really that desperate to get a buzz that we are going to start cooking chicken in NyQuil? Why don't you just drink it from the bottle? I don't get it. I don't get a lot of things. But anyway, so I posted a little thing about that, and I just said, I can't keep up with all the stupid out there. Well, that has just kind of sent me down a bit of a rabbit hole this week, and I'm still not kind of done with it, but it made me think about the names that we call people. Even though I hadn't really called anybody directly stupid, it just made me think about this, and I don't know if that was just a nudge from God or, but I was thinking about the passage in the Bible where Jesus warns us about calling people fools. And in my head, I was trying to think, okay, I know, what's the word he used in that scripture? And I was thinking it was vaca. It's not that. That's cow in Spanish. So you probably shouldn't call people cows either, especially girls, women. It's raca. I'm probably not even saying that right. But I looked it up real quick one early morning when I was just kind of sitting there, and I thought, I was like, okay, I wonder, what the real meaning is behind this. And I'm still kind of in the rabbit hole looking around, but one of the things I found was that term was not used the way we would use it today. It was used to describe somebody who was in rebellion against God and basically dismissed the teachings of God or even the very idea of God, which I thought was really interesting. So I'm gonna stay down the rabbit hole with that for a little while, and I'll come back to that with you, and just kind of let you know what I find, because it was just kind of interesting to me. And that just got me thinking a lot about how careless we are sometimes with our speech. And I mean, we love memes. I don't know about you. I think they're funny. I love them. Sometimes they make really good points. But also sometimes I think sometimes they can desensitize us to words or ways we talk about people. It almost gives us permission to be snarky and nasty sometimes when we don't need to be. And as a society, we've kind of changed the meanings of words, and And I think we're a lot less careful about things that we say just off the cuff and how much we say sometimes. So, anyway, I've been thinking about that this week after that NyQuil thing. It's funny what NyQuil chicken will spark in your brain when you haven't even had any. But I'm telling you, it looked gross. So, hopefully that's not ever something anybody has to tell you not to do. But if you need somebody to tell you not to do it, this is it. I'm telling you not to do it. It's nasty, looks gross, and it's probably dangerous for you. So, anyway, it's been a crazy, busy week this week. Jeff is working all day today, so I'm at home trying to be a little bit productive and do some stuff that I need to do. And, but in my reading for today, my Bible reading, I use Jesus Calling, which is backward on your screen. Sorry about that. But I love the thing about the reading for today. I'll read just a little bit of it. Each of my children is a unique blend of temperament, giftedness, and life experiences. Something that is a baby step for you may be a giant step for another person, and vice versa. Only I know the difficulty or ease of each segment of your journey. Beware of trying to impress others by acting as if your giant steps are only baby ones. Do not judge others who hesitate in trembling fear before an act that would be easy for you. If each of my children would seek to please me above all else, fear of others' judgments would vanish, as would attempts to impress others. Ooh. Focus your attention on the path just ahead of you and on the one who never leaves your side. We are, we hear people talk about Pinterest moms and Pinterest birthday parties and Pinterest bathrooms and all this and stuff that's just, perfect and perfectly tweaked and in most cases probably not even real life. And I saw something on Facebook this week. There are apparently now kids who are proposing to their friends or girlfriends or wannabe girlfriends about coming to the prom with them. And it's a big, they videotape it or whatever you call it now. They video it and of course play it on social media. And so everybody, it's kind of like the gender reveal things that you see all over social media. And I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm just thinking, okay, how much pressure are we putting on everyone, but especially those teenage boys, to try to come up with something romantic and sweet and all that, and all of this, whatever it needs to be, so that they can put it on their social media platforms and impress people. And if you're really doing that, are you really doing that for the person that you're wanting to be involved with, or are you doing it so everybody can see how wonderful you are? Usually it's about us, isn't it, when we do stuff like that? And it's so much pressure. It's so much pressure. And it's so unnecessary. And I can't even imagine what it would have been like for me at that age. I don't even want to think about that. That sends me down a whole nother rabbit hole that's not fun. One of the verses from the reading today is Matthew. Nope, that's not the one I want to do. Proverbs 29:25. Proverbs 29:25. And it says, "Fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe." And I just, I have the word snare outlined in red in my Bible. I have the verse highlighted, but I have that word outlined in red. And I looked it up, Just because you know how many times it's like, okay, I know what a snare is, but let me just look it up and see how it's, what the definition is. And it is a snare is a trap for catching birds or small animals. It consists of a loop of wire or rope which pulls tight around the animal and from which it is difficult to escape. So that's what we're putting ourselves in when we're trying to either live up to or more likely impress somebody else. So they'll think we're good enough or worthy enough or whatever enough. It just makes it so we can't breathe, doesn't it? I found something that I really want to get put on a t-shirt so I can wear it. But it says, be brave enough to suck at something new. I love that. Because it basically is just saying, be brave enough to take a chance that you might fail. Or it might not come out exactly like you want it to. And I think, this whole thing of not trying things because we might fail or somebody might not understand or somebody might be critical. I think you can pretty much expect people to be critical at some point if you're out there enough, because there's always going to be somebody critical. We talk about trolls online and all of that kind of stuff, but it doesn't necessarily even have to be a troll. It can just be somebody who is so unhappy with their own situation that they just want to lash out at anybody trying anything for whatever reason. Maybe they're jealous of somebody who actually tries, or maybe they feel like they never could even make that attempt or whatever. I don't know. But so I want to say two things about that. Number one, if God's nudging you to do something, or if there's this desire in your heart to do something, don't let being afraid of criticism stop you from doing it. And the other thing is, let's be gracious when other people try things. That kind of works both ways, Let's be gracious when other people are trying things and recognize that it takes a certain amount of courage to step out and do something. Now, we all know people that seem to have no shame and no, there are people out there that I think literally don't care what anybody thinks about them. And I think sometimes how free that must feel, Now, you can go too far with that because we all need to care, up to a point. But man, wouldn't it be nice to have a little bit more of that sometimes, where we just think, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to try it. Either because, I know specifically God is nudging me toward that, or it's just always something I've wanted to do, and I'm going to try it. Because I would rather fail or not be perfect at it than get down the road and think, man, I wish I tried that. I wish I hadn't been so scared. I don't want to have those kind of regrets, and I don't think God wants us to live with those kind of regrets either. So let's be a little bit brave and not be afraid to try. And at the same time, let's be encouraging. Let's be encouragers to others who are trying things, and be gracious to them. If each of my children would seek to please me above all else, fear of others' judgments would vanish, as would attempts to impress others. So when we're thinking about anything, if our first thought and our our main concern was, does this please God? Does this glorify God in some way? That really kind of takes care of all the other mess that we worry about, and even, I think it doesn't always take it all away, because there may always be that little bit of nervousness, but I think it lessens the impact of it, and I think it definitely lessens the hold that it has on us, so we can feel a little more free to try the things that we want to try. And because sometimes I think those things that God puts in our hearts are things that move us in the direction where He wants us to go. And if we're too scared to do them because we might fail, I think we miss out on a lot. And God's perspective is different from ours. We may try something and have it backfire or not work the way we think. And so in our mind, that's a failure. But from God's perspective, it's a learning, it's a learning episode for us. It helps us grow. It helps us get stronger and get maybe a little bit tougher and get more creative and hopefully more determined to keep doing the things that we want to do. So, just a little food for thought there. Maybe we can all be brave enough to suck at something new this week. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? And then we can just let each other know. We can, comment and, or whatever. Yeah, just a little thought about that. So, busy week coming up, probably, as always, but hopefully a good week too. I can't believe we're almost at the end of September. That's amazing to me. So the rest of the day while Jeff's at work, I've got some things to work on. The little pieces that I showed you last week of my English paper piecing quilt that I'm trying. This is new for me. I've stitched together 2 rows of them now. And I'm marking them on the back so I can keep up with what row is what. So I've done 2 rows, and it's actually very fun. It continues to be fun. And I'm looking forward to doing the rest of that. So I have them bagged and tagged, each stack in little snack baggies. So when I'm ready to stitch the next row, I can do that. So I'm working on that. I did that a lot while we were watching the ball game last night. And I did my puzzle. Oh, you want to talk about a rabbit hole? I just can't keep a jigsaw puzzle here and have it out, because all I want to do is work on it till it's done. I just forget everything else and sit down and work on the puzzle because I love it. So I finally finished that. That's fun. And I would love to do another one, but I'm not going to get one. I don't have time to not do anything but a puzzle for a while. And the other thing that I have to do a lot today is this. This is book 3. And all of these things and all of this whole folder and all this, these are the what you call them? They're the sections of my story that I take to Word Weavers every month, which is my critique group for writing. And we read them and get feedback on them. And actually, that's not part of my story. That's a whole different thing. So I got a couple things going on in here. But most of this is like 12 to 1500 word sections that I take in there and get critiqued every month. And then, so now what I'm doing is going through my whole story and putting in some of those critiques and changing some things and adding some things. And still looking for another editor. But I've gotten some suggestions from a couple of people. So hopefully in the next week or so, I can contact somebody and talk to them about editing so I can move on with this. So have a few things to do today, but also wanted to do this because I told you I was going to try to do better once a week. So here I am back in a week. And so I hope you're having a good week. And for sure, we all need to stay focused. Keep ourselves focused on God, God's Word, prayer, all of those foundational things that keep us anchored in the craziness of the world right now. In Florida, we are anticipating a hurricane. Don't know where it's going to hit yet. That's one of the memes. Speaking of memes, that's one of the memes that's going around now. When people ask you where you live, just tell them in the cone of uncertainty, because that's where we are right now. So this next week could be interesting for us. The last hurricane that hit close to us was Michael, and that was devastating. So nobody anywhere along the Florida coast wants another hurricane right now, or needs another hurricane right now. But God's in charge of that. He's in control of that. We'll be fine. So anyway, that's what's happening here, along with a swarm of dragonflies. Good grief. Some of those flies. Dragonflies are all over the place out here. I don't know where. I've never seen so many. And sometimes they're like buzzing around together. I don't know where they're all coming from. They're pretty. But it's just like a swarm of them. So anyway, I digress. I hope you have a great week. I hope that you will be brave enough to suck at something new. And I will do my best not to use the S word again. But I'm going to go down that rabbit hole a little bit more, because I do want to think about that some more. Anyway, I hope you have a great week, and in spite of everything, just remember that God has already gone through this coming week. He's already conquered it. He's already taken care of everything and us. And so it can be a good week. And even the distractions, things that we think are accidental and certainly not planned, God is directing all of that. And so instead of asking, why is this happening? Maybe we can just instead say, okay, what you want me to learn from this? What are you trying to teach me? What do I need to see? Look for God in everything, because He's there. And we just get so busy we don't do that. And we get frustrated by what we see as interruptions, when it's God intervening in our lives in one way or another for whatever His purpose is. So we get going so fast sometimes, though, those interruptions just make us frustrated instead of open to looking to see God. So let's do that. There's a lot of grace out there every day. His mercy's new every morning. Thank goodness. So I hope that you live in that this week, that you have a wonderful week, that you remember how blessed you are, and don't be afraid of going out there and trying something, because you don't have to impress anybody. Just do your best for God, and then you don't have to impress anybody else. He'll do with it what he wants to, and it'll be good. All right, have a great week, and I will see you again next week. I promise. One way or the other. Bye.